Hey, Rainbow here, and how are you doing? I am going to go over the last part of this, and actually now that the numbers are finalized and my bike might be getting fixed sometime soon, who knows. The anatomy of a motorcycle insurance claim, you can go ahead and look at part 1 and part 2 in whatever order you want to watch. So let me give you a little synopsis for those who didn't see part 1 or 2, but I highly recommend that you do that. And also, if you like these kind of videos where I kind of get in depth and go over stuff, and I actually review a lot of bikes, please like and subscribe. Let me do that in the beginning, if you don't mind. Anyway, week 8 without the Ducati Multistrada V4S. Week 8. It was week 8 as of yesterday. So what happened was I got hit. Someone stopped, missed their turn, put it in reverse. I was about 15-20 feet behind him at a complete stop, just wondering why they stopped in the middle of the road. Jammed it in reverse with an F-150, slammed in the front of me, hurt my left leg, knocked me off the bike as I was trying to get off to get out of the way. And the bottom line is, it's been a very tough 2 months, to be quite honest with you. Not because of the injury, but because, to be very honest, my motorcycle is my therapy dog. I literally look forward to that. My kids are older, they live far away, not married, have no girlfriend at the time, and you know, so I could ride year round down here in Florida. I'm missing that opportunity, and that's not a good thing. So anyway, here's what happened. The other insured said that I hit them. I said that they hit me due to the evidence that I provided to their insurance company. They then took liability and sent an estimator out who, in my opinion, did a horrible job and came up with an estimate, ready for this, with a grand total of $4,991.58, which was less than half of what the actual damages were. Very closed-minded. When the estimator for National General Insurance came out, I believe that they're based out of North Carolina or Miami or something like that, not very knowledgeable in motorcycles, gave the shop a very difficult time, was only willing to pay them half of their regular rate. So it just didn't go well. At that point, I decided to let my insurance company, Progressive, handle it, and told them to subrogate, and that's exactly what they did. So at the end of the day, what happened was all of the money was paid by my insurance company, Progressive Insurance. The actual amount was $10,831.67, which is $831.67 more than what the other person had. Plus, I have a $1,000 deductible, which means that my insurance company was going to pay about the coverage of $10,000 minus $800 minus my deductible. They were going to pay basically almost $10,000, and $1,000. It was going to cost me a $1,000 deductible, because in Florida they allow people to have a minimum insurance rate of $10,000 of property damage and no bodily injury. So the bottom line is, Progressive hooked me up. They were fantastic. They worked with the shop. That's how they came up with the over $10,800, and they waived my deductible. So the good news for me is that I don't have to pay the deductible. The shop is going to do all the work. I've already co-signed both of the checks, and in retrospect, I should have just co-signed the first check that they got and waited till they started the job before I co-signed the second check to release the money, because now once the shop has all the money, you're on their time frame, you're on their time schedule. So I lucked out from a monetary standpoint. Losing the motorcycle that I take to work every day and having to put more wear and tear on my car was a little harder than I anticipated. And also, like I said, having my motorcycle as my therapy dog and losing that for 2 months. So far, it's been 2 months. it's really sucked, to be quite honest with you. I had a lot of plans. I had to cancel a whole bunch of trips and cancel out of a bunch of stuff, which again sucks, but this is maybe a good reason to have a second bike. But you shouldn't have a second bike because you know one's always going to be getting smashed up when you live in South Florida. Anyway, let me continue with this. So there were some issue with the parts. When they go into order parts for Ducati, it could be either green, yellow, or red. If it's green, that means it's in stock somewhere in the United States. If it's yellow, that means it's going to be on back order somewhere. And red, I'm just going to assume, is just currently not available. Initially, when they placed an order, there were some things that were yellow. They placed an order. They placed a big order, not just for stuff for me, but for stuff that they were getting. And somehow the shipment just disappeared. It just completely disappeared. And no trace of it. So everything that they ordered the first time was wiped off. Don't know what happened with it. You can ask all the questions you want. I don't know. It's possible that things were stolen in the supply chain as far as the carrier, and I don't know who the carrier was, so I'm not going to go there and do any accusations, but that's what they believe happened. They went ahead and ordered stuff a second time. It finally came in at week 7, all right? Week 7 and 2 days, last Wednesday, everything came in. I was all excited, and then they said, okay, we're going to work on your bike on Tuesday. Well, today's Tuesday. I went down to the shop. They didn't start the bike today. So hopefully tomorrow they will start working on the bike because I have plans this weekend, and I was actually hoping on picking it up Wednesday afternoon because they have scheduled about 11.6 hours to do it, which means they'll probably do it in less than that, but there's about 11.6 man hours that was allotted. So of that $10,831.67, $1,667.66 is solely for labor. The rest of that is all parts. So that front end collision ended up being very costly for that Ducati Multistrada V4S. Okay, so one of the things that I was having issue with was that the first company, that the other person's insurance company, they only wanted to replace the housing for the one fork that had a gouge on it, whereas my insurance company, Progressive, who I would highly recommend, very easy to work with, they said, no, we're going to replace the entire fork because the fork, the tube itself was damaged. The housing was damaged. I asked them to put in extra money to please change the oil in the other fork, because if I don't want to have a brand new fork with fresh oil in one and then have one that has 14,000 miles on it in the other fork. So they approved, even doing that. So that I thought was pretty good, and I was really happy about that. Again, Progressive seemed to work really well as far as I'm concerned. I got a letter from the other insurance company saying that they've done their investigation, and unfortunately they can't pay out any injury claims because the insured didn't have any bodily injury liability. Once again, it's a Florida thing. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm 2 months into not having a bike at all. Luckily, the shop has given me the opportunity to test drive a whole bunch of bikes, and I hope to continue that. But test driving a bike for 20 minutes doesn't make up for not having a bike for 2 months. So although I'm a little disappointed that the parts have been in for a week and it wasn't started yet, I know that it's got to be around the corner sometimes, hopefully sometime soon. Again, I do have plans this weekend. The weather's supposed to be good so far, and that's what I'm going to do. So the insurance claim, this could sound boring, is a very difficult process, and to not have a motorcycle for me was the hardest part of it. And then after that, just the waiting game, waiting for parts, waiting for information, waiting to get approval to order parts, from the insurance company. Now, this is the United States. I heard a lot of people in Europe saying, oh, in the UK, they would have totaled that bike. Maybe they would have. Here, how they determine this is they go, okay, if we total the bike and pay the full amount out, could we sell it for parts and make more money than if, lose less money than if we would just pay the claim to fix it? So there isn't necessarily a percentage. People say, well, if it's 60% totaled or more, that number could vary. It really comes down to, with the insurance companies, where they're going to lose less money. So if they're going to lose less money by totaling it, they're going to total the bike, sell it for parts. If they're going to lose less money by just getting it fixed, then that's exactly what they're going to do. Now, there are times when it's close like that and there's something like a bent frame and they don't want to go down that road. But I should be on the bike this weekend, and I think I'm going to do like a 14,000 mile review because it's been a long time since I've been on that bike and I really miss it. Anyway, Rainbow, hope you didn't mind listening to this, but this gives you the inner workings of what's actually going on and what actually happens when you have a loss from an insurance claim. And don't ask me to sue the other person, because if they don't have enough money to even pay for good insurance, and you know what, you can't get water from a dry stone. You know what I mean? You can't, there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm gonna have to suck this one up. Nothing I can do. Inside, there's a lot I want to do, but unfortunately, I have to keep living here. So have yourself a great day. Rainbow, I am out of here. Goodbye.